welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be drafting and cutting a 6 pieces blouse. So please sit tight and enjoy the video. So we're going to be starting with our basic bodice pattern. Okay, from the bust point to the bust span to the waistline and the top length, just with the normal top. Okay, then we'll go ahead and draft we'll mark the shoulder and the neckline. So for this video I'll be using around, I think, 8 inches for the shoulder. Then I'll come down by 1 inch. I know whatever the shoulder measurement is going to be divided by 2. Then the standard neckline is going to be by 3 inches. Then I'm going to create the slope. Then I'll go ahead and create the armhole curve. So for better understanding about this, please watch my video on basic bodice pattern. So the formula for creating this armhole curve is going to be our bust measurement and bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then I'll put in the bust circumference divided by 4. Still creating the armhole. Then whatever I have here divided by 2. Please, for details about this, just visit my video on basic bodice blog, please. Then we'll go ahead and fix in the dart, which is a nipple to nipple measurement. So for this particular video, the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2. Okay, so I have 4. So I'll connect this with a straight line. I started from the waistline on the bust point. Then on the waistline, I'm going to be measuring ½ inch on both sides. Then under the bust, I measure 1 inch on both sides. Then from the bust point, coming down by 1 inch. Then I'll connect this point like so. So I have to come down from the bust point by 1 inch just to create enough room for the bust, in order to prevent a pointed curve there. Then on the upper chest line, went ahead and fixed in the bust circumference divided by 4. Okay, so now I'm measuring the armhole curve down to where the bust measurement is. Then I'm going to divide it by 2. So whatever I have, I'll go back and mark the point on the armhole curve. Then I'll come down by ½ inch. I'm going to mark ½ inch on both sides. Then from the actual place I measured, I'm going to connect it to the bust point. Then from the bust point upward, I measure 1 inch also. Then from the 1 inch, I connected the ½ inch that I measure on both sides of the armhole curve. Then the last one, I extend it by 1 inch. So I'm recreating the curve again. This is to prevent me from having shortage of fabric by the time I join both sides together. By the time I join the front, center front, and the other front panel together. So please, if you're going to create this kind of princess dart, make sure you extend it by 1 inch. Then I'm going to modify this point here on the bust point. Modify it to have a smooth curve so that the bust area will come out well without pointed area. So this is one of the ways of creating a princess dart, or princess bustier. So I'm going to fix in my waist circumference divided by 4. Which is 10 inches. Then the 1 inch for that allowance, and I'm using 2 inches for my seam allowance. Then go to the bust, the upper chest line, to fix in your bust circumference divided by 4. Then your 2 inches for seam allowance. Then I'm connecting this marked point together. Okay, since this is a blouse, like just with a full length, so I'll go ahead to the blouse length and fix in my hip measurement. Since this blouse is going to sit on the hip or on the buttocks, so we need our hip measurement. Then I went ahead and used the same that measurement too. Then from the length, I went up by 2 inches. Then I'm connecting it to the waistline, like so. Then the same thing, I'm just extending this to the hemming. Then fixing the seam allowance. Please, you can join this place together with a straight line. Doesn't necessarily have to be a curve, I mean on the side. So I'm used to the straight line, so I just want to try this curve out, and I think it looks beautiful this way. So that's our dart. That's the type of dart we're using for this particular top. Then I'll be creating the neckline now. So for the neck, I'll be using 6 inches by, depends on what you want. Okay, you can start from 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. I think I'm using 4 inches or 4 1/4 inches. Then using my curved ruler, I'm creating this round neck. And that is all about, that's all for the front pattern. Please, for better understanding, you can go over this video again so that you understand better. So just going through the step one after the other. So guys, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you. So now we're going to the back pattern for this same 6 pieces blouse. So if you're used to my videos, especially if you've watched the basic bodice blog, there's a way I create the back contour or the cuff at the back. From my waistline, I first removed 1 inch from the waistline, and I'll blend it slantly to the neckline and also to the top length. If it's a gown, you blend it down to the gown length. Then after that, I'm going for the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. So I'll measure 1 inch on each side, then connect it with my straight ruler. So I'll be creating the neckline 3 inches width, then the shoulder, I'll mark the shoulder, then ½ inch for ease, then come down by 1 inch, and I'll create the shoulder slope. Please remember, before you extend your neckline, always make sure you create the shoulder slope first. And now the armhole. I explain how to get this armhole in from the front pattern. Then I'm fixing in the body measurement. So that's placement now. So for the back pattern, I'm just going to, it's a bit different from the front pattern. So just mark the bust distance first. I'm using 4 inches for this dart, as in the dart placement. So I mark this 4 inches on each level, and I'll connect them. So for the top length, I'll fix in the hip measurement like I mentioned earlier. Please, after this drafting, I'm also going to show you guys how I cut the fabric. So this video is not just about the pattern drafting, because the 6 pieces, the purpose of this video is I use this pattern to cut out the fabric. So please be patient enough to watch this video to the very end. So I guess we are used to this type of that. It's one of the simple ones. You don't mind my ruling. I'm just trying out different method. So please just roll it out the way it's convenient for you or the method you're used to. Then I'll just create the arm, the cuff for the back pattern. You can see it's different from the front pattern. So please just pay attention to the details. Okay, so I'm extending the neckline. And yeah, that's our back pattern. So I'm going to cut it out so that we can go ahead to the main business of the day. So guys, remember to share my videos with your loved ones. Then feel free to share your opinion in the comment section. I'll be cutting the center front first. So, and make sure the fabric is on fold. Okay. And I'll secure it firmly to the fabric. Secure the paper firmly to the fabric. Then after this, you go ahead and put in your extension. So for the sake of this video, I'll be extending it by 9 inches. Then whatever inches you decided to extend yours, do it and connect it to the waistline slantly, just the way you can see in this video. Then remember that there's ½ inch joining allowance. So that is what I'm drawing now. Then remember that your extension will not come in contact with this pattern, with the paper. So you stop at ½ inch before the paper in order to be able to create your joining allowance. Okay. Then I'll be creating that cuff down there too, in order to have a beautiful cuff there. So I only went up by 1.5 inches. Then you cuff it down. So you can see my extension now. So right there before my paper, yes, you can see what I just did there. I stopped at the 0.5 inch that I measured. Then I continue with that joining allowance. Then I'll cut out the neckline. So this is the other front pattern panel. The other panel for the front pattern rather. Oh, that way. So I'm going to there'll be extension on both sides of this. So I already have 2 inches for my seam allowance. So I will be subtracting the 2 inches from the extension. So making it, I will now be extending it by 7 inches. So connecting that to the waistline, just the way I did for the previous one, as in the way I did previously. Then came up by 1.5 inch in order to create that beautiful cuff. And I'll be doing the same thing to this side too. Sorry guys, I don't know, my camera didn't really cover the side. Didn't cover the side fully. Remember there's half-inch joining allowance at the front side, because we'll be joining this to the center front panel. So on this side there's no joining allowance, so you just come close to the paper and cut through, because already we have 2 inches for seam allowance over there. Then the center back, so cut out that part, but just like our center front, we only have extension towards one side, so I'm using same 9 inches, and I'll connect it to the waistline. Then remember to put in the joining allowance, please, 1/2 inch. I'm going to trim out the neckline also. So that is it with our center back. Then the other back panel, I'll be extending it also on both sides. And I'll connect it to the waist position. Then remember to add the 0.5 inch joining allowance. Excuse me, please. And also remember to create the beautiful curve. Like I said, on the other side also, there won't be need for the joining allowance because we already have 2 inches for seam allowance, since that's the side of the cloth. Okay, so all our patterns are ready. Please, for better understanding, you can watch this video again. And please feel free to share your opinion in the comment section. Try it out and let me know the results, okay? My trust is going to be beautiful. Then also note that you can add interfacing to those extensions to the flace, okay? So that it stands very well. Interfacing help it to come out very well. You can add them up in layers. You can add it to the fabric, add to the lining, and all of that. It depends on your choice. But just do it in such a way that it will come out more beautiful, okay? So thank you guys for watching. And also that's the lining I'll be cutting it with. So thank you for watching. Okay guys, bye.